Warahmatullah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh. Wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lah. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Wa barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli, amma ba'. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praise be to Allah. We praise Him, we ask for His help, we ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the wickedness of ourselves and from the badness of our deeds. Whoever given by Allah guidance, then nobody can be a misguider for him. And whoever be misguided by Allah, then nobody can be a guider for him. I bear witness, there's no God worthy to worship except Allah. Only Him, no associate for Him. And I bear witness that Muhammad is a messenger, His servant. O Allah, give good prayers upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. If you give good prayers upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. O Allah, bless upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. Can you bless upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. Verily you are most worthy of praises and most exalted in nobility. Today, inshallah, we continue with our 50 Quranic rules on soul and life. We finished, alhamdulillah, last week, the 26th rule. It's actually about whenever disobedient person came to you with any story, check it first. It's not for you to reject at first at all from the start, but check it first, because like we said in our discussion, that every story may be it is true, but the angle of story you have to know it also, so that you not wrongly accuse anybody with something that you will regret after that. Today, inshallah, we will go into Al-Qā'idah Sabi'atu wal-Ishrun, 27th rules of Quranic rules on soul and life. This is the saying of Allah, وَمَنْ تَزَكَّى فَإِنَّمَا تَزَكَّى لِنَفْسِهِ. Whoever purified his soul, himself, then he purifying himself for the benefit of his soul. Whoever purify himself, he is actually purifying himself for the benefit of his soul, not for others. He said here, هذه قاعدة قرآنية. This is the Quranic rule from Surah Al-Fatir, verse number 18. Allah Ta'ala said, He said, وَمَنْ تَزَكَّى فَإِنَّمَا تَزَكَّى لِنَفْسِهِ. Whoever purify himself, he only purify himself for the benefit of his own soul. هذه قاعدة قرآنية عظيمة القدر. This is a great Quranic rules that have the great value. لِعَظِيمِ أَثَرِهَا فِي حَيَاةِ الْعَبْدِ, because of its great effect on the life of a servant. وَقُوَّةِ صِلَتِهَا بِتِلْكَ الْمُضْغَةِ الَّتِي بَيَّنَ النَّبِيُّ صلى الله عليه وسلم أَنَّ صَلَاحَهَا صَلَاحٌ لِبَقِيَّةِ الْجَسَدِ وَفَسَادَهَا فَسَادٌ لَهُ. Because it is actually also, because it have strong, this rule have strong relationship with the meat, the lump of flesh that the Prophet, peace be upon him, have explained that the goodness of that flesh inside your body is actually the goodness for the whole system of your body. And the badness that happened, the destruction that happened to that lump of flesh inside your body, that is also the destruction for the whole body. That is actually when the Prophet ﷺ said, Ala inna fil jasadi mudghatan. Know, all of you, that inside the human body there is mudghatan, a lump of flesh. Idza saluhat saluhal jasadu kulluhu. When it is good, and the whole body will be good. Wa idza fasadat fasal jasadu kulluhu. And if it's bad, this flesh is bad, then the whole body will be also in bad condition. Ala wahiyal qalbu. Know that is the heart. This actually this topic, when you said about the heart as the base of your emotion, and also the base of your soul, is related to the heart. Even some of it said that in the understanding of thing inside the Quran, it said that the heart that help you to understand. Nowadays, you will always see that people is pointing out to the brain, not to the heart. Even though before this, all the poem, all the literature is writing about the heart. Because the feeling, whenever you feel sad, or you feel angry, you feel happy, you'll always hear, not here. You don't say, "Oh, I'm so happy." You say, "Oh, I'm so happy." I'm so glad. The nafs will be the whole body, because your soul will be on the whole body. If somewhere somehow you cut off your hand, then the soul is not there anymore. Or you cut off the food from the oxygen and the food from the finger by tying up with any string, you will stop it from getting food and oxygen, so the finger will die. Even though the soul is actually the whole body having the soul, because you are hearing, listening, breathing, actually having the sensation, the touch, is always because of the soul is there. When the soul is not there, when you are dead, then anything you can feel anything through your body. So that's the meaning of the soul. Originally, soul is actually the whole body have the soul. Because you are moving with the whole body. You're not moving with only your eyes or your ear. Because the whole body have all the cell in the body have life. So the soul is actually considered as life. You have the soul, you have life. You don't have the soul, you are not living. So anyway, the discussion before by the scholars, or even by those who go into literature, always they say that the heart is the base of feeling. When you feel angry, you feel sad, your heart is actually doing everything. Like as if it's like that. You feel hurt here. You feel sad here. So always people is pointing to this flesh, the heart. But by time, when people actually start to have some equipment that can you can study the brain, so they start to think that the brain is the base of everything, even though you know that the brain is not the first that when you are actually inside your mother's womb during the 20th day of formation of the embryo. The first thing will be exist is actually your heart, not your brain. Your brain will be developed after that. Gradually, until you become, like we say, baligh, pubescent. Then you can say that the person is have a sound mind, not like a child anymore. So your brain will be developing throughout your life, but your heart is the first thing will be developed inside your body, also your liver also. So if considering that, so your heart is actually have significant point to be said that the base of everything, because the place whenever you're breathing, you are breathing, or you eating. When you eat something, you breathe the air. The thing that make the oxygen from your lung to go to all over your body, or to send all the carbon dioxide from all your body towards the lung, is the blood. And the blood is pumped by the heart. If your heart is not pumping, then the blood will not going anywhere. It stay like that. So basically, your heart is actually have significant. Even they did make a test when you show a picture to a person, gruesome picture, happy picture, the eye will see, and the first will react not your brain but your heart. Your heart will pump something, maybe hormone or everything, towards your brain. Then you start to have the feeling. So the heart is actually the base. When we see it here, even from the hadith, from the saying of the Prophet, you can't run away. Because they said that Allah at-taqwa hahuna, he point out to his chest. At-taqwa hahuna, at-taqwa hahuna. Taqwa, fear towards Allah is here. Fear towards Allah is here. Fear towards Allah is here. 3 times he said. He didn't say here. He will say here in the heart. And throughout the studies, alhamdulillah, when we was in Yemen around 2004 or 2003, there's a documentary translated into Arabic from the BBC documentary. But when we looking at the Al Jazeera translated, it's actually about the heart. So I tried to find the original documentary. The original documentary title from BBC 4, entitled Memory Transplant. Memory Transplant. If you go into YouTube right now, you can have that documentary to look at it. From that documentary, the study shown that when people get new heart, because these days organ donoring is considered as a good thing, and people start to pledge to donor their body, their organ, if they die in accident. If they die in disease, cannot be given to anyone. Die in COVID-19, you cannot give your organ to anybody. But normally, if a person died in an accident, so maybe the head injured, but the whole body is still intact. So they start to take out the liver, the kidney, to give to another patient. So starting from that point, people actually have that capability to transplant heart from person to another person. They found out that the title of the documentary was Memory Transplant. They found out that the heart, when you transplant it from a person to another person, will have the new person will get not only the heart, but also the memory of the person. Some of it, even his hobby or likeness. A person who's actually a carpenter, he doesn't have anything. He's not a romantic person, but when he get new heart, he start to write poem to his wife. Start to give flowers, and the wife said, "What happened to you?" And the other story, a woman. You have to do at the documentary. It's so fascinating. A woman got a new heart. She was so is not too into violent and doesn't like spicy food. But suddenly, after she got a new heart, she start to watch the wrestling and all the MMA. Start to like the things that is actually so brutal, and start to eat spicy food, and even dreaming about riding motorcycle. So part of, because your heart is actually not only muscle. Around the heart there is neuron cell. The neuron cell is the same cell that is actually moving up, getting your brain to move. Because the nerve cell, neuron cell is called neuron cell. On your heart is actually more than your brain. You have neuron cell on your heart more than the numbers of neuron cell in your brain. So you think about that when Al-Quran, when Allah Ta'ala and also the Prophet ﷺ taught us about this. But we know that this is actually not the first record. Even actually from the philosophy writings and from the writings of the old books before Al-Quran, before the time of Prophet ﷺ, always the heart is being seen as some significant inside the feeling, thinking, understanding. So when Al-Quran Karim saying about that is not the first, because this is the truth, or the information that being sent down before Muhammad SAW. Only that when that new finding about the heart, when you transplant the heart, you are not transplanting only the muscle, also the memory of the first person. Try to look into the commentary, memory transplant, BBC4. There's actually around more than 1 hour and plus about this topic. So from the findings, the saying that the Prophet said, "Ala inna fil jasadi mudghatan," know that inside the body there is actually a lump of flesh. Idza saluhat, if this flesh is good, saluhal jasadu kulluhu, and the whole body will be okay and all right, good condition. Wa idza fasadat, if this lump of flesh is fasadat, not actually good, bad condition, fasadat jasadu kulluhu, then the whole body will be in the bad condition. Then essentially this is true from the other side. The other side is actually when you think about a person that's been burdened with stress and unhappy life, the body will start to feel sick. Because if you want to know, the record about people having, bypass, because their arteries is blocked. The arteries blocked is actually normal. When you ask the doctor, it's not really about the food. People who having artery problem from the food is actually only 2 or 3 among 10. When 7 to 8% is really not about the food. They don't have the problem because of the food, but because of the pressure of life, the stress that they are having. One of the CEO of known company, if I mention his name, people will know him. He actually being said to have all the position, the big position in banking, in telecommunication, have become the CEO of every big country, big company. But he went before his 50. Before his 50, he already been bypassed 3 times. 3 times bypass, the artery being blocked. So normally when people say the artery is blocked, they say because the debris of fat is put there, been left there, so the heart become narrow. The vessel become narrow and cannot send a significant amount of blood anymore. But the problem is with the stress, it's not really the deposition of the fat. It's actually about the wall of the nerve. It's actually become bengkak, swelling and everything. So the wall itself, because the nerve is inside the wall. So the stress making the wall to become hard and also not functioning anymore. Because it's not about the fat. If the fat is there, you can always send a brush and brush it off. That's the real topic. But when the wall of the vessel, blood vessel, is actually start to swollen and to become hardened, that is the problem. So this is actually related, like we said, 8 of 10 people having heart problem, having problem in their arteries, not because of their food. It's because of the stress that they are having. So that's why when your heart is not happy, and the whole system will start to crumble. If you are happy, then the thing is actually your body also will become healthy. When I said about this, one of my student in SN Ta'lim, her daughter was not coroner, can we say as the one that post-mortem body after anything happened in IJN. So her daughter, so she asked her daughter, is it true that the person that is actually eating and it's not really a problem? Because sometimes you see a fat person a big person, people start to think that the artery already been blocked. Then the doctor said, actually, the big person, normally, their arteries are good, are really beautiful. The skinny person has problem. Skinny person problem. Because like I said, sometimes the person is not really that happy. Being stressed by all the problems. The problem being burdened upon him. So his heart become not happy. So when the heart is not happy, so the whole system will start to crumble. Not really because of food. Because person who is eating is actually healthy person, a happy person. You know, you can eat, you happy. But you cannot eat, then you start to feel sad. Even a sad person want to be happy by eating. That's why even the Prophet ﷺ told the companion to make food for the family of Ja'far. When he died, the Prophet told them to make food for the family of Ja'far. Why the food is there? Why the food is being told to be done? You can always give money to them. You can give anything to them. But why the food? That is actually one of the teaching of the Prophet ﷺ, that you take the person to go to eat something that will make him happy. That is the way that Allah Ta'ala actually maybe relationship of happiness, because inside the paradise also one of the is enjoyment is actually eating. Some people say that eating, have a marriage, have a wife, that's the thing that is the enjoyment of paradise. So maybe in this world also it must be an enjoyment. Anyway, he said here. So because of that, this rule that we are learning today, there is actually وَمَنْ تَزَكَّى فَإِنَّمَا يَتَزَكَّى النَّفْسِ. Whoever cleanse or purify himself, فَإِنَّمَا يَتَزَكَّى النَّفْسِ, he is actually purifying himself for the benefit of his soul. For the benefit of his soul, not for anybody else. So because of that, that's actually the relationship between this rule about purification. That is actually related to the heart, the flesh, that the Prophet said, if it's good, then the whole body will be good. If it's bad, then the whole body will be bad. At-tazkiyatu tutlaqu wa yuradu biha ma'nayan. The word purification or purification of self. The word tazkiyah is normally being used for the purification of oneself. It's not purification for the body. Not for the body. Because for the body, we call taharah. You call taharah. But tazkiyah is related to the cleansing your soul, to purify your soul from whatever inside it. So we call it, and whenever the word tazkiyah being mentioned, being uttered in the Arabic usage, yuradu biha ma'nayan, then two meaning will be meant by it. Al-ma'na al-awwalu, the first meaning, at-tathhir. There is actually cleansing, to cleanse. وَمِنْهُ قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى أَنْ يَحْيَى. That is, then, and from that is the saying of Allah about Yahya in Surah Maryam. In Surah Maryam, verse number. Surah Maryam, verse number 13. Allah said about Allah said about Yahya when he was being given birth to Zakaria, his father. Then Allah mentioned about his character. One of the character that Allah said was zakatan wa kana taqiya wa hanana min ladunna wa zakatan wa kana taqiya. He is actually he's actually being said by Allah in verse number 13. Then affection, hanana min ladunna. He is actually an affection from us, and purity. Wa zakatan wa kana taqiyya, and he also a God-fearing person. Taqiyya, a God-fearing person that is a fear to God. فإن الله زكاه وطهر قلبه وفؤاده, because Allah Ta'ala has purified and cleansed his heart and his the words fu'ad. How can you say fu'ad? Because heart is one thing, fu'ad is not the same as heart. Akal. I think actually the word fu'ad is always being said as not really the akal. It's actually about the not the mind. Maybe the mind, but really about the understanding, because the word fu'ad is given to us as the capability to understand. And that is relating back to the where is it found? Where is the position of your mind? Is it here or is it here? Is it in your heart? Is it in your brain? Which one is it? That's actually something that I said until now the scholars are still doesn't have resolved that, because the people that saying they have the data about the brain, how it's work, they said the brain is the place where the mind is. And the person that is right now, that the new finding about the heart, they are saying the heart is the place of the mind. And we can say the mind. Fu'ad. I say the mind or the heart. It's called the mind or the heart. Mind or heart. Either one. And if you want to know the meaning of the mind, means that not the mind, the mind that is actually understanding, not akal. Akal is actually sometimes it's not really called as a mind. Akal can be called as intelligent. The akal can be called as intelligent, because the thing that different us between we human being and the animal, that we have the akal, the intelligent. But the animal have the instinct. They have the instinct. They don't have the akal. That's why they cannot, make themselves better to run away from any things that will make them extinct. We human being, you put human being to wherever part of the world, they can adapt to the new environment, but animal cannot. If the place is inside the jungle, you have to have this tree, this type of food. It cannot adapt to the new kind. We human being can. If you are actually living in Malaysia, you always eat cooked fish. But you stay in Japan, suddenly you can eat raw fish and everything. It's actually you can adapt your clothing, your place to stay. Also always can adapt. That is because the intelligence, the akal that Allah Ta'ala put inside us. That is the thing. But the mind is actually something else. The mind is about the understanding, to understand something, to embrace to have the feeling. That is the thing that about said by Allah. That they said the Prophet Yahya is called as zakatan. He called as zakat. It's not being called as just only a human being. He is affection from us, and also a purity. He's a purity, being purified by Allah. Means that the Prophet Yahya being purified by Allah, that Allah Ta'ala has purified him and cleansed his heart and his mind. وَهَذَا تَطْهِيرٌ مَعْنَوِي. And this is actually the word of zakah in this sense. Is meaning to cleanse, but by not physically, but spiritually. Ma'nawi. It's not, you cannot see that in visible, except for the case of the Prophet ﷺ, when he said about he was being cut off, being cut by Archangel Gabriel, and being taken out his heart, and being put being cleansed from it blood that is actually called as the shaitan placed inside his heart. Then the Prophet have the both purification, not only from the symbolic or actually spiritual, but also from the physical. This is the thing that I always said. If somebody said that he want to go to a cave, and to have the same manners that the Prophet had, then I said you have to go through all the process. So go to IJN and ask them to cut your heart and wash it with the ma of Zamzam. Then you have the same place like the Prophet. If not, then only follow what the Prophet taught you to do. Because the Prophet never ever told his companion, Abu Bakar, Umar, Osman, and Ali, to have that type of situation, to go through the things that he went through. He went through the physical purification, and also staying in the cave of Hira until the Quran is revealed to him. So some people say that I want to go to all the experience, to go through whatever the Prophet have experienced it. So I said to him, then you have to go one more thing. Go to IJN, ask them to wash your heart with ma Zamzam, with the water of Zamzam, because that happened to the Prophet. If not, then just follow what the Prophet taught you to do. Don't ever say that I want to go through whatever the Prophet went through until he reached the stage of prophethood. So that's the problem here. So anyway, the Prophet, yes, did have that cleanse, not only spiritually, but also from physical form of spiritual cleansing. Even the second time, the Prophet ﷺ being also washed his heart with Zamzam, or being cleansed his heart on the night of Isra and Mi'raj. The second time. 2 times the Prophet went through the cleansing of physical cleansing by the angels. He came. Even Anas bin Malik said that he saw the scar of on the chest of the Prophet. So it means that the cutting is physical, not spiritual. And somebody will say that I have met somebody, some good guy, great guy, he can perform surgery without using anything, and there's no scar at all after that. Then I say to you, you are better than Archangel Gabriel. Because the Archangel Gabriel, he cut off the chest of the Prophet, take out his heart. Actually, the scar is there. The scar is there. And Anas bin Malik, anhu, because he was the servant of the Prophet, means he was helping the Prophet for all the things that he want the Prophet to do. He actually saw the scar on the chest of the Prophet. So be careful when you say something that this is actually something Allah Ta'ala give somebody. So Allah Ta'ala will give things, cannot give anything better than we give to the Prophet. If the Prophet have scar, then you have to have the scar. So you go to somebody that perform spiritual surgery with no scar and no nothing, that is not considered as karamah or something miracle. It is called magic or sihr, because the person will do it every day. By we know that the Prophet ﷺ, and all the prophets, their miracles that have been given by Allah, the sign that have been given by Allah, only happen few times in their lifetime, and not because they want it to happen, but Allah want it to happen. Not every day they're doing that, because the Prophet, our Prophet, peace be upon him, he can make a little food become plenty, a little water to become abundant, for 100 people to take from the water. But he didn't do it every day. Didn't do it every day. If some people say that I can do it every day, then that is called as magic or sihir, not considered as a miracle or the help of Allah. Because Allah Ta'ala will give you for actually what like I said, sometimes only for that. That is the nature of the miracle of the Prophet, and also the help from Allah as karamah to those who being called as his awliya. Not every day, not doing miracle every day. Once you have that understanding, miracle every day, you are lost. You will surely follow misguided person. Okay. ويطلق على التطهير الحسي. And also the word tazkiyah also being uttered or being used for the physical purification or cleansing. Yuqalu zakkaitu thawba idha tahartahu. I purify the clothes when I cleanse it from any spot, any soil or dirty. Okay. Wal makna thani, the second meaning of tazkiyah was ziyadah. That is actually from the point of something to become plenty. This is the word that been called used as the saying about zakat. When you pay zakat or alms in Islam, you pay 2.5% from your wealth when it reach the equivalent of 20 dinar of gold, or 85 gram of gold equivalent, your belonging, your properties, or your money. But individually, if you have dollar money, ringgit money, so you have to separate it when you want to count for its zakat. Means the dollar or the ringgit must be equivalent or more with 85 gram of gold. Not by combine. No, you don't combine it. You don't combine the dollar, the pound sterling and everything. Every money on its own cost. You count it separately. Anyway, when you have that equivalent of 85 gram of gold, you start to pay 2.5% as zakat. You can pay in cash as the value, you can pay it in cash. Anyhow, because if you have that gold, and the gold is actually in a type of ring and bracelet and necklace, so how can you cut half of it to give as zakat? Surely you can say that I cannot cut my gold, because nowadays many people is actually keeping gold either in ornament, in say necklace, earring, or bracelet and everything as endowment, or the gold bar. There's two types of actually keeping, like right now. In the time of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the gold was the money. That is the money. The gold and silver is the money to become the medium for buying and selling in the society. These days, all the country is using their own money as replacement for gold. That's the difference. So you can pay the value. You don't have to cut your bracelet to pay the zakat. Okay. Anyway, that is called also zakat. That is this meaning. The meaning of zakat mean ziyadah. What ziyadah? To become abundant, plentiful. Yuqalu zakal mala yazku idha nama. That the property becomes zakah, means that when the property become expand, or to become plentiful, because of maybe because the person is actually using the money or wisely, so the money is actually keep on become exceeding, not just like that, not static. Then they call as zakatul mal. The money or the properties become plentiful. That is called as zakat. Wakil maknayaini lughawiyaini maksudani fi syar'i. And both meaning, either the meaning of zakat, tazkiyah as cleansing or purification, symbolically, spiritually or physically. And second one is the meaning of zakat as to become abundant or plentiful, to grow. The property grow, this growing, I call zakat also. It's actually, both meaning is used and meant in syara, in the sharia of Islam. Lihat tazkiyatun nafs syamilatan li amrain. Because cleansing, purifying oneself, your soul, is actually enclosing two things. Firstly, tathiruha, to cleanse it, wa takhliyatiha, and to empty it, to empty the soul, min adrani wal awsakhi al haysiyati wal ma'nawiyati, from the dirtiness or from the soil, that is actually physical, hissi, that can be seen, or ma'nawi, of things that is symbolic, because the thing inside your heart, like greediness, selfishness, is actually something that will soil your heart, dirty your heart, corrupt your heart. So you have to empty that thing first, to cleanse it first, the heart, from this type of character. Your body is actually from the najis. You cannot have the thing inside on your body. That is the thing that really amazed me. I become really feeling weird when some people saying that if you really love Allah, don't care about yourself. Don't really care. Don't clean yourself. Because we have that type of people, in Sudan, when I was in Sudan, and also in Yemen, I saw them, the people called Darwish. They wear a green robe, green turban, walking around, not bathing, don't bath at all. You are sitting beside them, they are actually smelling like a goat. Really like a goat. Seriously. Like a goat beside you. You can imagine a goat beside you. What is the smell? This person is considered by some people as good person, really devoting themselves towards Allah. Wali, as a wali, a saint, considered as a saint by some people. But the problem is, that's the thing, the tazkiyatun nafs, you cleanse yourself inner self, doesn't mean that you have to neglect the cleanliness of your outer self. Never ever been understood like that. But the problem is, some people is saying that you don't have to take care of your outer self. Inner self is better. But we in Islam, we have to take care of both. That's why the Prophet ﷺ always smelling good. He doesn't like bad smell. He always cleanse his mouth. Even when being said to his wife, what is the first thing the Prophet will do when he returned to his house? They said that the Prophet will do siwak, to clean him, his teeth, his mouth. He went out, when coming back to the house, the first thing is actually to cleanse his mouth. Not like us. We go out, we try to be good smell. When at the house, we don't have the good smell at all. The opposite of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Because inside the house, your wife, they deserve to have you in a better shape than you are outside. So the Prophet ﷺ is taking care. He actually forbade whoever eating the onion and garlic to come to the mosque, because their mouth will, the odor of their mouth will be spread inside the mosque, and will actually not disturbing only the human, even the angels. Because the Prophet did say, because whoever eat from this tree, don't come to our mosque, because the angel will be disturbed with the things that people feel disturbed with. If you feel that the thing is bad, you don't like it, then the angels also will not like it. Because you want the angel to be with you during your staying inside the mosque, so that they will ask forgiveness for you, and also they will actually be with you to say Amin. When you say Amin, to make sure that your supplication is being lift up to Allah. So you don't have angels there. So what will be there? If the angels is not there, the shaitan will be replacing them. That's why the order, the smell is not there. It's not actually being allowed inside the mosque. So the Prophet did mention about that, and he always, the Prophet ﷺ, if you ask what is the biggest spending that he spent with his money, one of it is actually on the perfume. One is the biggest thing that the Prophet, peace be upon him, spend his money is on the perfume. So how can you be opposite the Prophet and not bathing, and suddenly you say that I'm a saint? Or people that have that understanding, the more stinky you are, the more saint you are, the more near you are towards Allah. That's actually, I don't understand. Because I said, I sitting beside that guy, he wearing the green turban, a cane in his hand, a robe, a green robe, walking around. And being said that this is the wali, this is the saint of Allah. Something is not right. Because you can learn about the Prophet, his life, how it is. Because the understanding about not bathing is still continue inside the other religion. Like in the Hindus, they have the shaman that been called as Agori Sindhu. Agori. If you write inside the Google, search Agori, Agori, you will find out there is a shaman, group of shaman in India that are eating that animal, bangkai, something that is not, and their body is being rubbed with the dust of the ash of the dead person. You know, when they burn people there, so the ash being used by these people, this Agori, to cover themselves. They are not wearing clothes, always doing yoga, eating and drinking inside skull. You know, skull of human being. They drink inside that, drink blood. So this type of people, they are only taking bath maybe 3 years or 2 or 3 years once. They are the ritual. They have the ritual at the Ganga river once every 3 or 2 years. They will gather there. These people will go first inside the water of the Ganga river, and people will be waiting. After they went out from the river, people will start to drink the river's water. It's actually a documentary. I see it in the commentary. Something about the Ganga river, the feast or the gathering, 3 or 2 years, once every 2 or 3 years. That these people that not taking bath will come inside the river, bathing, and people will start to drink the water after that. Even though you can see that the river is big, surely because the people is so many, then the water is actually will be like that. If a person, yes, I can see a person come down inside the river, you cannot say that there's a significant changes in the river. No significant. But if 100 or 1,000 people like that inside the river, they came out, the river surely will have that taste, the taste of that people inside the water. So this thing, I maybe from my understanding that maybe this thing, the word in India, they call fakir. Fakir, like Guru Nanak. You know, the person that, or Sai Baba, or somebody. Actually, the guy is considered as a Muslim. He will lift out his hand like this and have something tied inside on his head. He's being worshipped by the Hindus until today. That person is called fakir. Have the same understanding about not bathing, not living inside the house, always be in dirty places. So that people will say that is the sin. So like you said, when you said about tazkiyat nafs, don't ever think about it is inside your soul. Whatever outside, you can okay, you can say okay, it's okay. You don't take care about it, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is really the opposite of that. Even by saying about hair, people try to shave their hair and say that Islamic. No, at all. In Islam, shaving your hair for the man only when you are doing tahallul from the Umrah or from the Hajj. Other than that, there's no such thing as to shave your head. Because the Prophet, peace be upon him, did say, "Man kan lahu sya'run falyukrimhu." Whoever have hair, then save it, save the hair. Save the hair. Take care of the hair. Don't ever left it out like that, just like that. So he himself told us about taking care of our appearance, even though it's not really about the other human, but it's actually because whatever Allah Ta'ala gave you from the goodness, taking care of it is actually considered as tazkiyah. So tazkiyat al-nafs, not only inside your soul, inner self, but your appearance also. So don't follow misguided people. They say that it's okay, just take care of your heart. Anything else outside is actually nothing. That is so actually opposite the teaching of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that is the meaning, the first meaning, tathiruha, to cleanse the heart, and to cleanse the soul, means that from both sides. And secondly, watanmiyatuha, and to grow the soul. Watahliyatiha, and to adorn the soul, to beautify the soul, bil awsafil hamidatil fadilati, with character or attributes that is actually considered as hamidah, means hamidah means praise upon, and fadilah, and also advance and praise upon. You beautify. You don't just cleanse your heart, your soul from the badness, but you adorn it. You beautify the soul with whatever is actually good from the character. فَالزَّكَاةُ بِاخْتِصَارٍ, so that the zakat, the word zakat or tazkiyah, taduru ala amrain, is actually considered from two sides. It's circling around two meaning, around two matters. First, to cleanse, to empty. Secondly, to beautify, to adorning your soul with that. Wal maqsudu bitakhliyati, and the meaning about to cleanse or to empty your soul, ay tathhirul qalbi min adrani dhunubi wal ma'asi. That is actually to purify or to cleanse the heart from the dirtiness of sin and also disobedience to Allah. Sin and disobedience to Allah. That is actually the thing that you have to cleanse your heart from. Wal maqsud bit tahliyati, and the meaning of to adorn or to beautify, means the soul or your heart, ay tahliyatun nafsi bi makarimil akhlaq, to adorn or to beautify the soul with makarimil akhlaq, with noble manners. Actually you put away bad manners, bad akhlaq, and to put a good manners inside your soul. Wati bishama'ili, and the goodness of character. Wahuma amaliyatani tasiran jamban bijambin. So the two things about tazkiyah means that to empty and to beautify is to work, okay, or to operation that is actually moving side by side. You cannot left out one thing and doing one another thing. Like I said, you empty yourself from the badness, but you don't adorn it or beautify it with goodness. That is wrong. Or just to make a good or better akhlaq or manners, but you then left out the bad one. You said that I'm not that good, but I'm good, but not really that good. So doing the two things you doing at the same time. Even sometimes people saying that the person is so good, but he is actually doing association towards Allah. then it's considered that the heart is still not being purified. Because purification or tazkiyah must be two, side by side. Empty the heart or the soul from anything that is actually considered as the dirtiness of sin and disobedience, and after that to adorn the heart with whatever we call as the noble manners. So side by side. Fal mu'minu mutalabun. So a believer is being asked, obliged to bitanaki min ad-dhunub min al-uyub. Bitanaki min al-uyub, that he have to cleanse himself from any things that is shameful thing, like riya, that is actually showing off, to have the feeling of to show off, a kibr, to become arrogant in front of anybody. Wal kadhb, lying. Wal ghish, to trick anybody. Wal makr, to conspire. Wal khida', to lie. Wal nifaq, to have hypocrisy. Wa nahwi dhalika min akhlaqir radilati, and other than that from the badness of akhlaq. The akhlaq is not good. You have to make sure that you get it away from yourself. Wa mutalabun bitahalli bil akhlaqil jamilati, and a believers also is being asked, being obliged to tahalli bil akhlaqi al jamilati, to adorn himself, to beautify himself with the beautiful manners. Min as-sidqi, like being truthful, ikhlas, sincere. Wat tawadu', down to earth. Means that not arrogant, the opposite of arrogant. Walaynul janib, and to have good soft charity to all the servants of Allah. That when you mention about the leaders, you actually doesn't talk about him because you want their position. You want him to become a good person. When you say something to anybody, you just want them to be better. Not because you envy them, not because you want their position. That is called nusr. Because the Prophet did say, ad-din an-nasiha. Ad-din an-nasiha. Ad-din is actually din, the religion. An-nasiha means that become sincere. Sincerity. Religion is sincerity. The religion is sincerity. So the companion said, kulna liman. Sincere toward whom? Toward whom? So the Prophet did say, lillah. First you have to be sincere, lillah. Have sincerity towards Allah. Anything Allah command you to do, do. Don't say that, how can I find something to get away from this command? Some people are saying that, what is the way? I don't want to be called as disobedient to Allah. What is the trick? So always try to run away from the obligation. That is not sincerity towards Allah. Then lillah wali kitabihi, towards his book. Wali rasulihi, towards his messenger. Wa ila aimatil muslimin, and towards the leaders of the Muslim ummah, Muslim people. Wa amatim, and also sincere towards the general public of the Muslim. So sincerity is actually being truthful and be sincere, not because of enviness, not because of you don't like them, you start to just say something to them. Sincerity is actually being asked, being said as the one of the great manners that you have to have. Wasalam tu sadri min hikdi wal hasadi, and also to be your heart, your chest is actually become safe from the enviness, or also hasad. Actually, al-hikdu, you may say that it's actually enmity. Al-hasadu, you can say that it's actually from the words of envy. jealousy and enviness. Wa ghairihima, and other than that, min masawi'i al-akhlaqi, from among the bad manners, bad akhlaq. Fa inna tazkiyatahu ya'udu naf'uha ilaihi, then the purification of the heart, when you cleanse it from the badness and you adorn it with the goodness, then the tazkiyah, the purification of the heart, ya'ud naf'uha ilaihi, the benefit will return back to himself. Wa yasilu maqsuduha ilaihi, and also its intention, why it being done, also will come back to him. Laisa yadi'u min amalihi shay', then that's nothing among his deeds will be abandoned or being left out by Allah. Everything will be considered and being counted by Allah. Wa ala hadal ma'na, and upon this meaning, the ayat of the Quran came. Inshallah we'll continue after that, about that, because after this is actually many ayah that is actually to fortify the meaning that we are learning today. Inshallah we'll continue next week. Okay, wallahu alam, because we have a meeting after this, 12:30, this meeting we share. So inshallah we will continue next week. Wallahu alam. You have any question, brother? Alhamdulillah, no question. Alhamdulillah. So we'll stop here. Inshallah we'll continue our topic next week. Wallahu a'lam. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa sallam. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.